and we're back in record time.
Welcome to Voices of Harpswell, Past, Present, and Future, hosted by Harpswell's Bicentennial Project and funded by the Maine Bicentennial Commission. In this series of interviews with people from all geographic sections of Harpswell and all ages and interests, newcomers to those whose families stretch back generations, we hope to compile a picture of Harpswell today in this tumultuous year of 2020, the 200th anniversary of Maine statehood. Today, we have with us today a person who knows a lot about education and who, with her family, has been a staple of Cundy's Harbor for years and years. Will you tell us your name?
I'm Sandra Weber. I'm Bob Weber's wife. Everybody knows Bob.
That's true.
And I was a long-time resident here in Harpswell. And I'm back. Hooray!
Hooray. Oh, that's really great. Well, were you born here in Harpswell?
No,
No?
my family moved here from Lisbon Falls in 1948.
Well, that's a long time.
That's a long
That's
time.
a long
I might as well be an old-time
Right,
resident.
right. Well, because I know Bob's one of, 6 kids, and everybody was
Yes.
right in the area.
Yeah,
stayed
and they're
in
all
the
right
area.
here.
And the Webers have such a presence. So you've always been in Cundy's Harbor area?
No,
since you're
I
back
was on Oars Island.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I had several businesses going there.
Yeah, what kinds of businesses?
Well, I took in overnight guests. I ran a daycare. I did, I don't know how you call it, interior decorating, I guess you'd say. I went around and painted interior houses and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that would turn a penny, you know.
Oh, right.
And so I've met a lot of people, and I know a lot of people through the church, where I was very active.
The church in Cundy's?
No,
Or the church in
Oars Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It breaks my heart that's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
But time goes on.
Time changes. Well, because when you had the general store, that was really the store for people to get
Yes.
all their needs,
Oh, yeah,
right?
everything.
What was that like? That was pretty intense.
Crazy, crazy. We were traveling overseas. We were living in Morocco at the time, and Bob came home to open the store. And it was complete chaos. And me left in Kenitra, of all places. We had, oh no, that's the wrong place. It was Iceland where we were.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we had been in the Philippines, Kenitra, Morocco, and then Iceland.
Wow.
That's quite a variety of climates to live in. And I had plans to come back, you know, and bought the store building. And Bob opened up the store.
And this was on Oars?
Oars Island.
Is that in the Red Barn building? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been a store. It was a building supply place when we bought it.
Uh-huh.
But then we converted it to groceries. And I also, at the same time, I was running a B&B in the house.
Wow.
And never a dull moment, you know.
Oh, I guess.
I'm not big on dull moments. I want to be moving and doing.
But so that involved doing food for the store, too. Did you do sandwiches and fast food
Bob
things?
did all that.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was busy in the house with daycare and the bed and breakfast.
So you had that. So let's
had
talk about
those-
a multiple bunch of businesses.
Yes,
in one
all in that
place.
one little area. And we had a lot of fun, you know. We had met a lot of nice people. And when I came back and settled in, I accidentally acquired a child that somebody wanted watched. And so I said, well, sure, I will. And next thing I know, I'm up to my eyebrows in little ones and running a daycare. You know? So
that's
it's
great.
never dull.
Wow. So you did that right there. You had
Yes,
it. So
in
it was
that-
the store, the
and
house,
then the house
whole.
was the bed and
yeah.
breakfast and the daycare.
Wow.
And then I wanted a change, and my son and family were in Augusta, and my granddaughter was little, and I wanted to spend time with her. So we basically moved up into their basement in Augusta and lived there 6 years.
Oh, and what a help
7
you
years.
must have been for.
What was that?
You must have been such a help with that child.
Well, it was
right
fun.
there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It made it easier for them to come and go and keep a work schedule. They were both working, and so it made us closer, You know, that little girl is no longer a little girl. She's a grown-up lady now, you know? And that's fun to watch. And
But you must have seen a lot of difference between Augusta and Oars, right?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm not a city person. I like the woods, I like the ocean, I like open air, you know, traffic and business all over the place. I really do not enjoy.
Yeah.
I do it, I can cope, you know, but it's not something that I really enjoy. So an opportunity to come down home again, I thought it was a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
So here we are. And I expect to be in that house with the new daycare for about 2 years probably, and then go looking for a larger building so that I can expand.
Well, now, since you did daycare way before, and now you're doing daycare again, do you see a lot of differences? There's a lot more regulation and
good
stuff, right?
grief.
Yeah.
It was terrible before this COVID crash that we've had. Paperwork, and documents and interviews and interviews. And I started the project last August, and it went along slowly until Christmas time. And about then, I was ready to really start the push, you know, and be ready. And I had planned to open the daycare in January. That didn't happen. And then along came this vicious bug that we're all fighting, and that threw a monkey wrench into everything. The paperwork got worse and more difficult to communicate because people were not working in their offices, they were working from home. And I would leave messages here and messages there, and sometimes they got back to me and sometimes they didn't. It's been a rat race, really.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But at last, the license came through.
That's good.
So now I'm
But
happy.
I mean, even the state, like the curriculum for preschools and stuff has to be different, right? It's more...
Not a lot.
No? Oh, that's
no,
interesting.
It's basic. Well, it was basically good. What you were required to have and what you could do and what you couldn't do, which is just common sense when you're taking care of a child. You have to be careful what you say and what you do, and you have to be careful to train without disciplining. And that's my strong point. I can do that. And I love those kids. And I've had more fun. And they come out with the cutest things. And one little girl came in and she had her shoes on the wrong feet. And I said, "Oh, look, your shoes are on the wrong feet." And she looked down and she says, "Nope, them's my feet."
Oh,
that
great.
Lightens your day. You
yeah,
know?
right. The stuff they come out with.
I should have kept a book of all the cute things they say. But
That's right.
And
Yeah, but so you've off and on, though, you've seen a lot of change in Oars.
Oh,
and
yes.
especially going away and being overseas and then being in Augusta. So, like, what do you see as the changes that are the most visible or the most dramatic?
A lot of people. There's not the open land there used to be. When I was a kid on Oars Island, we ran everywhere. You know, it was wide open. Right down the street were houses, but off into the woods you could go for miles, you know. And I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss that very much. But life goes on and things change. You can't blame people for wanting to come here. It is the most beautiful spot in the world. And we've lived all over the world. The Philippines, Morocco, Iceland, and there is no place I've ever seen that's as pretty as right here.
Oh, that's great.
So homecoming was a good thing for us. You know, I love it. It's my home of choice. You know?
Yeah, all right.
There are a lot of changes. Every time I get cross and I think to myself, where are all these people coming from? You know? And then I make a friend, and I thought, well, gosh, if they hadn't come, I wouldn't know this person, you know, and I would have missed an opportunity.
Well, what about some of the other organizations? Like you mentioned the church, but now do you still find a church here, or do you go somewhere else for church? Do you go in town
Well,
and just
since
find
I
it?
was in Augusta, so I went to the Methodist Church in Augusta. But since that closed up, like everybody else, I'm restricted to where I can go, and so. But I will, whenever things loosen up, I will find a church on the islands.
It's so different,
And,
isn't it? Yeah.
The church has always been a big part of my life, and I enjoy it, and I need it.
Yeah.
One of the things I did in the television here was go around to every church in Harpswell and film a service. And every week, one service played Sunday morning.
Oh, that's great.
And that was fun.
Yeah, so how'd you first get involved with coming to the TV station?
It's David's fault.
Oh.
No, it's my husband's fault. He ran for selectman. And they were having the usual meetings, where they get the candidates in and interview. And I came to watch the proceedings. And I was, upstairs in the town office where the television thing was set up. And somebody who was supposed to be manning a camera didn't show up. And David grabbed me and stuffed me behind the camera, and he said, "You're the camera person. This is how you zoom in. This is how you zoom out. Have fun."
And that was the beginning, trial by fire.
That was the beginning, and it was fun. And then I took the course that David Chipman taught. And I did that, and then I did all the church services that I did. I did a show on the Lipizzan Stallions when they came, and we were at Topsom Fair.
Oh,
and that was fun.
Yeah.
And, oh gosh, I can't remember all the things I do. I had a clown come on my program and start from her bare face and put her clown makeup and her suit and everything. And it was one of the funniest shows I've had because she taught me how to turn a dish towel into a chicken. I mean, this is something everybody needs to know, right? Just by folding the thing, and then you pick it up, and it looked like a plucked chicken.
Isn't that what they come up with?
Yeah.
That's great.
That's the first time I've ever...
So it sounds like you were involved a bit with the Topsom Fair, too, if you had these connections to the fair.
Well, only because I went up and says, "Can I come and film?"
Yeah.
And they said, "Sure." So I did. Wow. And interviewed the people that were riding the horses and all of that. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes on at Cundy's too, right? At the community hall and at...
Yes, there's always something going on.
Yeah. Do you get involved with some of those things?
I haven't yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it's new back.
Because I'm just back and I'm so busy trying to get my business going.
Yeah.
And I have too many hobbies.
Oh, tell us about your hobbies.
Anything with color. Right now I'm into a Chinese thing, which is tiny little beads, like pinhead-sized beads. And you get a picture with numbers and symbols to match the various colors. And you have a little tool, and you pick up one bead at a time and put it in the proper place.
Wow.
And they make beautiful, beautiful pictures. I should have brought one in.
That would be great, yeah.
I'm not too bright, but
you
at my age, I don't have to be very bright.
No, you don't. Come on,
I did notice I'm not getting any younger.
But what a cool thing. So it's like paint by number, but it's paint by bead.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
And I just finished one that's, oh my gosh, about the size of that cabinet over there, which is what, 3, 4, maybe 4 feet?
By 3?
By 3 feet.
Yeah, big.
It's a lovely picture of a, I'm not sure if she's an elf or an angel or what she is, but she's riding on the crescent moon.
Oh, lovely.
With long flowing gowns. And I did the whole thing, and there was a spot that called for black beads. So I said, why are you putting black beads in? But I put the black beads in, and I got it down and hung it. It was a cat.
Oh.
It was a black cat sitting on her lap.
But
and I couldn't tell without the actual beads being in there, So that was my latest one. I always have one going because they're so much fun.
Oh, it sounds it.
And I used to have to send to China to get them. Now I can get them through Amazon.
Oh, yeah. So it's really made a difference.
Much quicker.
Yeah.
It took 6 weeks to come from China.
Yeah. It's amazing what a difference Amazon has made. I see in Harpswell especially, it's huge. Well, I mean, so do you miss having the store, though, since you're such a people person?
No. Yeah. I don't like the stores.
Yeah.
I'm not really a people person. I'm a short person. short person people. You know? No, I did not like the stores. That's Bob's favorite
Yeah, that's
thing.
Bob's thing.
Yeah. And
But so back to your hobbies, though. So it sounds like, did you come into the beads from painting or from needlework?
both, really.
Yeah.
And then my sister found some, and she ordered one for me and got me hooked on it. So now I always have a project going. And I knit and sew and, do all those.
So you did that when your kids were little, too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how
I
you
knit
get started.
sweaters for all my daycare kids when I had them.
Yeah.
And that was fun. And I used to take them down to the shore, down to the beach in Bailey Island,
Uh-huh.
and have adventures down there. And it's a lot of fun.
Well, and this is such a great area.
Oh, it's
for
beautiful.
That.
It
I
is
know
so beautiful.
There's so many nature walks and
Yeah.
nature-related things. It
Yeah.
sounds like you're really into the nature stuff.
Oh,
too.
I am, yeah.
Well, so that carried over from childhood in Lisbon Falls too. So when you came here, it wasn't a big change when you
No,
first
it was.
moved here.
In those days, Lisbon Falls was nothing. It was just a few houses on a street and a mill, and that was about it. And then we came down here, and I remember I was about 6 when we came down here, and I remember sitting in the driveway of the house in Lisbon Falls with an old dead teaspoon, digging holes in the driveway, crying because I didn't want to move. And I can remember that so plain. But my mother has always loved the islands. And her father had built cottages down here for other people, and he built one for them. And so this was her place of choice, too. And when she had an opportunity, they moved down here.
Nice.
And once I was here, I wouldn't go back to Lisbon Falls for anything.
But so then you went to school here.
I went to school with Mrs. Lehman down on Bailey Island.
Oh, in Bailey, yeah.
Yeah, that tells you how old I am.
Well, but that must have been fascinating because did you have a lot of grades in one school?
Yep.
All of them?
Yep.
Like 1 to 8 or K through 8?
No, it was, oh gosh. Well, I wasn't paying attention at the time, but I was 6, so I think I was in 1st grade. And then the other school up on Orr's Island was different. That was another whole thing, but I'm not sure what grades were there. I wasn't paying attention at the time.
Yeah, but it must have been. I mean, Miss Lehman, she was a taskmaster too.
Oh,
right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, she could pound knowledge into a turnip, I swear. I may be the turnip in question, but it was always fun.
Oh yeah.
And it was, growing up on the islands was wonderful.
Yeah.
Because
What did
we
you
ran
do
all over the place.
Yeah.
Lowell's Cove was like a 3-minute walk from our house.
All right.
We had the house that used to be called the Belvedere.
All right. Sure.
Yeah, and we just made friends with the Johnsons that lived over on the Lane Road, and the 5 of us ran together for years.
Oh, nice.
And we went everywhere and did everything together and had a wonderful time.
So you swam at Lowell's Cove,
Oh,
probably.
we swam and swam and swam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what in the winter?
I block out winters because I hate them.
Oh, no, I just
I
figured
don't
maybe
remember
you went
anything good about winter.
No snowball fights or building
No,
forts or
no.
sledding.
We used to go sliding down in the valley across from the school.
Yeah.
And so we did that. And we used to skate on Verrill's ice pond.
That's a great place. To
It was.
skate. Oh, yeah.
Not now.
Yeah.
And when we came back from Morocco, we lived on the Lane Road. My parents had built a house there on a piece of property that we owned. And so we settled in and we also had an apartment building there. And so I ran the apartment building and just generally busy all the time.
Wow.
And I
sounds
did all the yard work because I liked the yard work. I liked the digging and planting and mowing and all that stuff. So I did all of that for that large area. We had a 3-apartment building and a mobile home for rent. And so it was busy, busy, busy,
So
busy.
you talk when you say a lot of businesses, you
Yeah,
have
we-
real estate and
Yeah.
hotel. Because I mean, the whole thing that is so interesting is how hotels and boarding houses way back in the day when the steamboats came has always been sort of a part of Harpswell. So
Yes.
you've probably seen a lot
Yeah.
of change with that too.
Yeah. And motels kept popping up. You know, there's one on Bailey's, and bed and breakfast places were beginning to be popular when I was a kid. They hadn't really reached that stage yet. My mother opened a house, the house where Tim Vale lives.
yeah, right on the
That's the
road.
first house that we had when we came to the islands.
Oh, okay.
And she ran a boarding house, no, a tourist place. It was called Wayside Harbor.
Oh, nice.
And
name.
had people from all over come and stay, and some would stay a week, and some would stay overnight, and met a lot of nice people that way.
Yeah.
And so it's
Well,
always
then
been,
it got in your blood too. You saw
Yeah.
how she did it, so
Yeah.
you learned from her.
and the nice thing about that is that you meet so many nice people, and they will come back year after year after year, you know, and it kept the business running.
Yeah.
And
What'd you do about food? Did she serve breakfasts?
she did breakfasts, and she would pack lunches for people who wanted to tour around the islands or something. And a lot of the summer people would come to her to have lunches packed when they had guests. So she was providing a lot of food
So you
for a
learned
lot of
from
people.
her on that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
And
What was the most popular thing you remember when she would do packed lunches then?
what did she do? She did chicken sandwiches and tuna and crab meat. And at that time, I was quite young, and I really didn't pay much attention. you
Yeah,
know? I was so busy playing and getting around on the island and exploring that it really didn't dawn on me till later how many people had actually come through the house, you know. And that was in the days when there was no social distancing, you know.
Yeah. Well, did you have to do chores to help out when you were a
Oh,
kid?
yeah.
What kind of chores did you do?
Oh, everything you have to do, mostly dishwashing, because she fed a lot of people. And she took in boarders also, the elderly, who needed a place. Alwilda Stackpole. Nobody remembers her now.
What a wonderful name.
Yes, isn't it great?
Yeah.
And her mother was 90-some years old, and Alwilda was no longer able to deal, you know, so she came and asked Mother if she'd take her. And my mother's never said no to anybody. Wow. So next thing we knew, we were running an old folks home, you know, and we had 3 or 4 at a time. In that big house, there was plenty of room, you know, and they each had their own room, and there was Mrs. Bradley, who was a summer person, who didn't want a home here, but she wanted a place to live. And so every summer, she had used one of our upstairs bedrooms. And she, I don't know if I should tell this one. There was another lady, Miss Ely, and she drove a big black Cadillac, and she must have been in her 80s or more. Nice, nice lady. We kids loved her. She was always glad to see us. She would come and have meals, and she always acted like she was glad to see kids, you know. So we liked to see her. And she was very old and very heavy, and it led to a lot of weakness. And she had trouble in the bathroom. And we could hear her, and she says, "Frida," my mother's name. "Frida, Frida!" So my mother went in and helped her, found her and got her tidied up and straightened around again. But to hear that creaky old voice yelling Frida, you know, it was...
Yeah, so your mother did a lot of a whole huge variety of caring
she did.
for all kinds of people with all kinds of needs.
Yeah, she is a caretaker by nature.
Yeah.
And
did you have a lot of brothers and sisters?
I have an older brother and a younger sister.
Oh, nice.
And I used to have to share a room with my sister. I love her dearly, but she drove me crazy. I'm a quick goer. I get up in the morning, I dress, and boom, I'm ready to go. I go to bed, I undress and go to bed, and that's it, you know. She's a dubber. You know? It would take her an hour in the morning to get up and ready, and drove me crazy. So we squabbled quite a lot when we were young, until my mother wised up and gave us separate rooms.
Solved
And
then
the problem. It was easier after that, yeah.
Right. Does she live nearby?
Cundy's Harbor.
Oh, nice. You've really got your
Yep.
whole family there as well as Bob's
Yep.
whole family there.
Yep, and my brother owns property on the Lane Road in Harpswell, the old Johnson place there that's been there for 1,000 years. And
Yeah.
so this is home.
Yeah.
A lot of memories here. I can't think of a single bad one. You know, we had a remarkably wonderful childhood. We had wonderful, caring parents who would go out of their way for things that we wanted to do. My father worked in the gypsum mill in Lisbon Falls, so he commuted back and forth.
Wow.
And I was in high school, at Brunswick High School, and there was some kind of a big to-do going on, and I wanted a new dress. And I didn't want to ask my father because I knew things were tight, you know, and so I didn't. And he was a musical person. He played the fiddle and every other musical instrument you could imagine. And he played at dances, and he took on 2 extra dances and bought me a dress.
Oh, that's great.
That's the kind of parenting I had. I was extremely fortunate. I had no idea how fortunate until I went to Brunswick High School. And I was invited to stay over with a friend. And I thought, yeah, sure. And my mother said, fine, you know. They were drinkers. And they got into a knockdown, drag-out brawl.
The parents.
The parents, in front of 2 little children and me. And I got on the phone and I called my dad and I says, Dad, I need to come home. This place is not good. And I said, I'm going outdoors. I'll be sitting on the doorstep. Well, I was downtown Brunswick. And I don't think it was 15 minutes, and my father was there. Picked me up, and away we went.
But you were wise, so you were a kid who had good common sense.
Well, it's
and knew
just
to get
common
out of
sense.
there.
You need to get out of someplace, you know.
Right.
You call the powers that can take care of that.
Yeah, but was that quite a change, though, to go from your school here on Bailey and then go right into Brunswick High?
Well, yes, it was. And I did not like school. I didn't like having to, it sounds snobbish, but it wasn't really. It was nervous and a little scared. So I never was comfortable with all these strangers. And so I would kind of just, you know, shrivel into myself. And I had 2 or 3 really good friends over the 4 years that I spent there. I never enjoyed a single day of it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I did all right. My grades were fine, but it was not fun.
So there
and
weren't
the
any-
bus ride, oh my gosh. I caught the bus outside our house here on Owens Island about 6:30 in the morning because we had to make the loop down into Cundy's Harbor, all the way down there, all the way back, and all the way to the old Brunswick High School. And many times on a snow day, they wouldn't call a snow day until we were halfway to town in the bus.
Oh.
And we'd get to school and there's nobody there. You turn around, drive back. And
Oh, so you spent a lot of time on the bus. Yeah,
I hated it.
that's hard.
It always smells of the diesel fuel, and that made my stomach very uncomfortable. And it just, the whole high school thing was a disaster for me.
So there weren't clubs and nice teachers.
Well, I did some
that you really
dramatics. We
liked.
did plays and stuff that I was in, but I never enjoyed it.
Yeah, I bet you were really good at it, though.
Well, you know, you're never the best judge yourself of whether you're good at anything or not, you know. But I did the dramatics, and that was fun. Yeah, I didn't mind that.
Well, did you have any jobs when you were in high school? Did you babysit or
Yes.
work?
Yeah, I babysat for the people in the house right next door. And they had a little girl about 3 and an infant, and I would go and tend them. Had an adventure there, too, one day.
Yeah.
How many adventures do you want?
These are great.
There was a carpenter working over there. These were summer people who owned that house. And they were not there, and the carpenter was working in the painting a ceiling, I think. And his helper came running across the yard to my mother and says, "He's dead. He's dead." You know, and his mother says, "Who's dead?" And it was the painter had collapsed and died right there.
Oh my goodness.
And so mother went and looked, and sure enough, the man was dead, you know. And the other guy says, "I'm out of here," and he went away. And so his mother with the dead body, 3 children, and we were fascinated, of course, you know.
Of course.
And she used it as a lesson in not fearing dead.
Wow.
And she says, "I have to stay here because I'm not going to leave this lady until the people come that can take care of her." You know. And she says, "You children want to go, and you can see what dead is. It's not scary. There's nothing terrible, you know." So we were fascinated. So we went over, and here's this guy on the floor. And so mother pulled out chairs, and we sat, and we chatted back and forth across the dead body, you know. And sooner or later, then the people came to pick him up and take him to town, you know. But it was a good lesson not to fear death. And we learned it, and I got comfortable with it. We could go to funerals and not wonder what was happening, you know. It was a very strange thing to have happened, but I thought that she did it very well.
Yes.
And it taught us a lesson not to be afraid. A dead body is a dead body. It's not anything spooky or scary. And so we played around it for a little while, and then we went outdoors in his backyard and played, you know. Wow. And it was natural.
Yeah.
Perfectly natural thing in the world.
That is a story. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, there were a lot of adventures growing up around here. And
well, besides babysitting, did you ever work in a restaurant or anything? Of course, you had your mom.
I worked down in Bailey Island in the old Yale house. What was the woman's name? Can't remember it now. It's down where they used to bring the tuna in. On the east side of Miracle Cove. Miracle Cove. And I had, we did so much stuff. It's some of it was foolish, some of it was dangerous, like hopping ice cakes across the cove.
Whoa.
We won't talk about that one.
Yeah, but you learned how to do so many things from doing them.
Yes.
You didn't have to take a class or
oh no, jump
just
in feet first and go for it. You know.
Right.
Which has always been my theory of living. You know, is if you wait around until something is comfortable, you've missed half of it. Yeah. So when I had the 2 businesses, I had the bed and breakfast and I had the daycare going at the same time, and I was also part-time preaching at the church. If anything was wrong with the minister and they couldn't do there, I would go and do the service. And I ran out of my bed and breakfast people one morning. I was serving them breakfast, and I got a call from the minister that she'd fallen and she wasn't going to be able to get to the service. Can you do it? And I said, sure. So I left the bed and breakfast people all set up with their food and everything and went and did the service and came back, and they had cleaned the kitchen.
Oh.
I mean, you know, you get nice people.
Yeah. Well, you probably got the same people year after year.
Oh, yes.
Then, too,
yeah,
so
quite a
knew
while.
You.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And there was one couple that came every year to stay in our house when Mother was running it. And they came every year, and they would stay 2 weeks and run around the island. Her name was Irene, and my father was very musical. He played in bands and everything and made a lot of music. And every time she came, he would play Goodnight Irene, you know.
Oh, made her feel great.
She liked that, so they came every year to have Goodnight Irene sung to her.
Well, did you inherit some of his musical ability?
I sing.
Oh, nice.
As musical instruments, no. I'm too fumble-fingered, I think. I don't know. So my music is singing. I've always been choirs and concerts and stuff like that.
Nice.
And that was another thing I did here at the studio. it was when there was some musical thing going on. We used to do big concerts at the Rose Island Church, the Bailey Island Church, both of them. And I would film them. And so I could play that camera pretty good, and I could catch them, and catch the ones who were doing the solo bits, and it was fun. Yeah. And then that was about an hour show for the TV station.
Yeah, perfect.
So it worked out fine.
Yeah, so the numbers just dwindled at your church. Is that why they finally had to close it? Was that why, or were there other reasons?
Yes, it dwindled. And there was a schism.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, and it was not necessary, but it happened.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people went to Bailey Island and had services. We had a minister who, well, I don't know how to say it. She was divisive.
Oh.
And she wanted to stop going to the Bailey Island Church and just use the Otis Island Church. And the Bailey Islanders were just justifiably angry. And instead of working with her to say, no, you really don't want to do that, they and went.
Oh, right.
And it divided the church.
Yeah.
And that's always sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you remember when you think about both as a youngster and then also when you were here, community celebrations that got the whole community together?
Well, they used to have the dances down at the Lowell's Cove.
Uh-huh.
My father's group would play music down there, and 2 or 3 other groups, and they
Where
street
did they
dancing.
meet?
Street dancing.
Oh, street dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. We haven't heard that before. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yep, they took all of that hill that goes down to the cove, and all the way up, halfway up the Lane Road, actually, would be chock full of people.
So they just close it off, no
Yep.
traffic, and
Yep.
people could just
And
dance.
did,
That's a great idea. Wasn't the Moss factory there, or that
yes,
was past them?
that was earlier.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah,
this
we
was
were
after that.
we were little when that was going on, and we made good money from the tourists. One woman was on the wharf down there at Lowell's Cove, and she leaned over and looked and opened her mouth to say something, her false teeth fell out. High tide, and you could look down and see those teeth lying on the bottom. And my brother went down, dove down, and retrieved her teeth.
Great story.
I've never forgotten it.
I can imagine. Good for him.
Oh. Yeah, we were not averse to taking money from the tourists,
Right.
We could figure out a way. And there was an old lady who was in one of the cottages in there behind the Belvedere. And she was kind of crotchety. And she had a squirrel problem. The squirrels would jump on her roof and race around and drove her crazy. So she hired my brother to shoot squirrels. Well, there's only so many squirrels in that one little area. So he says, well, it's preventative. He says, I'm going over on the other side of the island and shoot squirrels. And it worked fine. She was perfectly happy. She paid so much per squirrel. And then, and then he's coming up over the hill with an armload of squirrels, and as she drove by, she complained to my father. Father had a sense of humor, and she thought that he should punish him. That's illegal. That's false advertising. That's blah 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 blah. I don't know how many squirrels he did. He may have decimated the entire population. I'm not sure. But my father, very tactful, and he says, "Well, I'm sorry. I'll see he doesn't do that anymore."
Oh, good. Perfect.
But she wanted Jim hung, So we were not averse to taking advantage of the outsiders.
But of course, this was actually, it was the bridge was on. No, the bridge wasn't built yet, right? So
Oh, yeah.
So
The
you
bridge isn't
did
there.
well. The
The cross
Cribstone.
bridge, no.
But I mean Mountain Road Bridge.
No.
So really, your stuff, you didn't go to the neck ever, right? I mean, it was pretty
Never.
much.
We went to Brunswick.
Orr's, Bailey,
and back,
then
and
you go
Oars and Baileys.
24.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
never. There was nothing over there that we needed. It was
Right.
you couldn't go grocery shopping there or anything. So we just went to Brunswick.
Yeah.
And while we were away, we were in the Philippines. they put the mountain road across. And we came home, and it was such a difference to be connected to the entire town. You know, it was really great. And so then we began running back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, and but this was a beautiful, happy place to grow up. It was not dangerous. You could walk down the streets, you know, and people would know who you were. And if you got into trouble, they also knew that. So it made an ideal place, really, because if we needed help, somebody was there. And they watched the kids going back and forth, you know, without anything, you know, said about it. It just happened. And we had a wonderful growing up.
Yeah.
You walk down, spend the whole day down on the cove, and it's just, you can't find that anymore. It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist,
No.
right? Well, I mean, it doesn't sound like TV or even radio played a big part in your childhood because you were outside.
No, we were outdoors.
And now kids, you think of the difference with technology
Yeah.
and what a difference it makes.
And the Johnsons got television long before we did. And so we would go over there on Saturday mornings and watch the shows, the kids' shows, you know. And I was not terribly fascinated, but it was interesting. You know, when we were all curled up on couches in their living room watching the Saturday morning television. And I never dreamed at that time that I would ever have anything to do with television. So you never know what life is going to bring you.
Right?
And we've had, we were very close, the five of us, three of us and the two Johnson girls. And it was not an official club or anything, but we hung together all the time. And we had a lot of fun, and we did some silly things. And at that time, there was a dump, would you believe it, at the head of Lowell's Cove, right along that strip, and people would dump their trash. And we used to prowl through the trash. I shudder to think about it now, but we did. And we would find liquidy stuff, and we would find tin cans, and we'd pour all this stuff in, you know, and create magic potions. And let's see, there was Sandra, Sharon, Phyllis, Jim, Bob, and Jackie. And so we created this soup, and we called it Sasha, Phil, and me, Jack Bob. And this is the kind of thing you can't do now, you know. It doesn't pile up like that in open spaces. So, but it's one of the stupid things that we did as kids. It was perfectly harmless, didn't hurt anybody. But I still remember Sasha, Phil, and me, Jack Bob, you know.
Right, I can see how you would.
And swimming, of course, was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I took swimming lessons down on Bailey Island just once. Well, I knew how to swim. So I'm just doing the paddle that everybody's doing, you know. All of a sudden, the instructor jumps in and grabs a hold of me like I'm drowning, you know. And he says, "That's all right, I've got you now." I says, "Well, give me back," you know. I was not in trouble. I was just floundering around. He thought he was rescuing me. I was so cross. Oh, how embarrassing, you know. Oh, dear.
Jeez.
Well, it's a lot of fun, a lot of very nice people, the old-timers that are gone now. And every time I drive by a house, I remember that person, you know, and how good they were or how mean they were, you know, from a kid's point of view. And it's a wonderful place to grow up. Even now, it's a wonderful place to grow up. But it's not like it was.
Well, there's so many fewer kids, right?
Yeah.
In general.
Yep. And most of the properties have been sold off. The old-timers' houses are all sold off to incomers. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, they have a perfect right to come in and buy property. And we, as children, were frightfully snobbish about it, though. Wouldn't be seen dead playing with those kids, you know. And now some of them are my best friends, so, yeah. But as kids, you don't look at it the way adults do.
Yeah,
and so we had a lot of fun. It was a perfect place to grow up.
Well, we were talking a lot about how much this whole COVID has changed things. And you were
Yes.
saying, with the churches being closed is a huge way.
Yeah.
But you're probably seeing all sorts of other ways too, right?
Oh yeah, it's
For Bob,
yeah, and of course Bob still does the boat lettering and sign making and all that stuff, and that keeps him out of mischief. Well, close. We don't want to be completely without mischief.
Yeah, do you help him with that ever?
Sometimes,
Because
yeah.
they're beautiful. He's
My
so
hands
gifted.
tend to shake a little, so I don't do any of the fancy scroll work or anything, but I paint boards and stuff like that. When I have time between kids, and I'd rather hang out with the little people,
Yeah, right.
And
No, but that certainly changed things, and certainly mask wearing in the stores, and
Yes.
we've been talking to a lot of people who
I just hate it.
yeah.
I'm very claustrophobic, and to have that over my face is torture. And I'm going to have to do that with the new daycare because I have to be masked all the time. I'll get used to it, but I won't enjoy it.
Well, but you think about stuff with little kids too.
Yeah.
How do you keep them 6 feet apart? You can't.
You
right?
can't,
So
but you
just
can
have
wash hands and faces over and over and over. Make a game of it. We'll be singing a song when we wash hands. Merrily they roll along,
Yeah.
merrily they scrub along, things like that, just to keep them interested.
it fun.
Make it fun and not a burden. And of course, they're going to fall down and get scratches and bruises, and the typical kids, you cannot prevent that. But we're very careful, and they're never left out of my sight. I have help that comes in and helps through meal times and things like that, But basically, I'm with the kids all the time, and I love it. They're so much fun.
Great. Yeah.
And I have so many good memories of those kids. And a lot of them are grown up and have kids of their own.
Kids
So
of their
I'm
own.
hoping that I'll get some of the second
I'm
generation.
sure you
That would be
will. I'm
neat,
sure
wouldn't it?
you will, yeah.
Yeah, and
well,
it's not always the best behaved kids that are the most dear. Some of the stinkers I found much more interesting, and I say stinkers, I don't mean stinkers. I mean the more difficult kids, the ones who hadn't had any training and didn't know what it was, or had a little personality quirk that irritated the other kids, And it was not always the best behaved, but I loved the most.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, now when when you were traveling overseas, you had little kids yourself, right?
We adopted our oldest son while we were in the Philippines, and there was a dependent girl that didn't tell her parents she was pregnant until they got there, and she was 16, a young 16, and so they were over there, and with this girl, what are you going to do? So they went to the base chaplain, and the chaplain was one of our best friends, and he knew we were looking for a baby. We were going into Manila to the orphanages. It was sort of like shopping, I would like to go through with a basket and just say, I'll take this one, and that one, The combination of children that we found over there was amazing. All races, all mixtures. The most beautiful were the ones that were half Chinese and half black. And they were beautiful. Their skin tone was a beautiful color, and the hair was wavy, and they were just beautiful, beautiful babies. And this was run by the Catholics. And Mother Superior she says, I know you're looking at those babies. She says, I'm not going to let you have a baby, a colored baby. I says, I don't care if the kid is plaid, I want a child. And she said, yes, and I'm sure that you would cope very well, but there are a lot of people who won't. Well, this was back in the early 60s, And so we kept looking. We'd go and look and shop and look at those beautiful babies. And then we got a call from the base chaplain, who was our best friend, and there was this teenage girl on the base going to have a baby. We were scheduled to leave in August, and the baby wasn't due until early September. So we delayed. We stayed over, and the adoption was arranged through the chaplain, and the Navy did all of the paperwork, no cost whatsoever, and we got a beautiful baby boy.
That's great.
And Bob came home on his bicycle, and we were living in a little house out in Cavite City in the Philippines. And he says, our mother has gone to the hospital. And he says, I'll come back and let you know what's happening. And he was pedaling back and forth all the time, a mile or two to the base. And so I was all excited, And then he came back and he says, we have a son.
Oh,
and it was so exciting. And my friends threw me a baby shower. Oh. I was the only one there that wasn't pregnant.
Wow.
But we had a baby shower, and it was great.
That's great.
It was really, really good. And so we took him home. And our next duty station was in Morocco. He was a busy little baby, hungry all the time. He was 6 weeks old, and I'm feeding him mashed potatoes and gravy.
Wow.
Because cereal would not keep his tummy full. He'd wake up every 2 hours screaming hungry. So I says, well, common sense, feed the kid whatever he needs. So I did. And he thrived on it and was fine. And he's now 6+ feet tall and living in Texas. So,
that's great.
And we've had many, many, many adventures. We've had more fun than the law allows.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not done yet,
That's right. But so then really you raised him in Morocco, as a little kid.
As a baby,
So that must have been interesting in itself.
It was. We lived in downtown Kenitra, and right across the street was a school for boys. Of course, the girls never got educated. And I would watch them, and the king of Morocco had declared that all the boys were going to be educated. And this included the people out in the countryside who lived in little shacks and no transportation. Their transportation was a donkey, if they were lucky. And I could sit on my front steps and watch parents bringing children to that school. Oh, the husband would be dressed nicely, nice clean robe, and the child would be dressed European. And they would come down the street, father with son, donkey, wife. She had to walk at least 6 steps behind her husband. If he crossed the street, she had to go to the same spot, cross where he had crossed. I watched this go on, it just boiled my blood. I think, oh, how awful. They're losing half the brain power in their country. At least half, sometimes more than that. And but it was so sad because they were not going to see that boy again until 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And to watch these mothers have to say goodbye to a son, and they're so downtrodden. They were then, and I suspect they are now. A wife had no rights whatsoever. If a man could have as many wives as he could provide homes for. And all he had to do, if he wanted to get rid of a wife, was say, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you, and she's out. Any children she had stays. I had a Fatima, that's a house cleaner. They were called Fatimas. And her name was Haida. And she was the saddest woman I have ever known. She didn't moan and groan and complain, but there was a sadness, aura around her. And she didn't speak much English, but enough that we could communicate. And finally, I felt comfortable to ask her, you seem very sad. And she says, I have 2 children. I have not seen them since this high. And she cried.
Sure.
And I felt like wringing somebody's neck. How could they live in a society like that, where a woman has no value, no rights whatsoever? It may be better now, but somehow I'm sure the old habit is strong. The idea that women have no brain, no sense of responsibility. And yet, who tends the home and raises the children? And
It's always
So-
good to get back to Harpswell. Where
Yes.
You didn't have to.
And
Definitely.
I said to Bob when we came back, if you're expecting me to walk 6 paces behind you, forget it. It's not happening. But I just wept for those women. It was sad.
Yeah, it is.
And the parents that came to the school from far away, and they knew they weren't going to see that boy a long time. And it must have been very hard. Who knows how far they had walked to get into the school.
So, this has been an hour. So
Really?
Before we end, though, is there anything, you said you love Harpswell, but is there anything you want to say as a wrap up to what you feel about this place, this beautiful town?
I've lived in a lot of places overseas, and I have never seen anywhere as beautiful as right here. And I've never met people more friendly, as a rule, than right here. We were kids, we could knock on any door in town and ask for a glass of water or, borrow the bathroom, anything, and feel welcome, and be welcome and be safe. And that was the big thing. And a lot of that is gone. The old-timers are not there anymore. The newcomers, lovely people, many of them, but still, they're not the same. And it always irks me. The people come here because of the way it is, and then they want to change it to what they came from. Why did you come? Yeah. And I know I have many, many friends who've moved in their later years in life and enjoy it here, and that's wonderful, and they're lovely people. But that idea that when a lot of that gathers here and they begin to think, well, we should have this, or we should have that, and it changes the town. It was never perfect. Nothing is ever perfect that has people in it, as people tend not to be perfect. But I don't like to see change for the sake of change. I would prefer things to sort of be like they are. When we were little, you could knock on any door and be safe and secure. Walk up and down the roads all day long and never a fear or a worry. Can't do that now. I would not let kids walk up and down the road like we used to. It's just not safe.
Right.
There's too much access to places like this, and you don't have the security. And that I miss. I miss that very much. That was wonderful growing up. And my parents could turn us out in the morning and let us run anywhere on the island and be perfectly safe.
Nice. Well, it's definitely a good place. And
It
thank
is.
you.
It is a good place.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Hey ho, roll and go around Cape Horn to San Francisco. Shantyman, sing, boys, pull on the line, and we're back in record time. Now at Bath down in Maine, they built many tall ships. They were paired up and flanked and launched down the slips. The strength of our nation was built on the pine of the mast trees that harnessed the wind. There was schooners and sloops and all kinds of small craft. There were warships with cannon both forward and aft, and the queens of the seas, downeasters and clippers, mighty proud men were their skippers, with their hay